Wow. Wow. So how do you even wrap your head around that one?
Well, I'll take first crack at it. So their end statement there, I think it's sort of some of the kernel of what's going on here. I've been to a lot of clients lately, and one of the things I ask them, I ask them, first of all, what is your product? And amazing that they often have a difficult time describing what their product is. I mean, it used to be simple kind of things. We make VisiCalc, and that's what we sell, blah. But now we have people who write libraries or do APIs or do services that are consumed by other services. So they're having a more difficult time describing their product. And once I try to figure out the boundary of the product, what's in their product, what's out of their product, I start saying, who are you trying to serve and what's their goal? And they're like, we don't know. We just build our product. And this is the kind of thing that's running into here in this story a little bit. Is like, what is the purpose of this set of electronic invoicing thingy, right? Who's their customer and what's their goal? And their goal is to be able to do something that the government is going to regulate to a certain degree. And if they can't do that and they can't use it, then it's worthless to them. They haven't delivered any value whatsoever. So it really comes down to understanding what your product is and what is this value proposition that you're giving to any of your clients. And this was not made clear or prioritized throughout the life of this particular example. And I see this over and over again. I was just with a client in Europe, and no one had a clue really what the value proposition was, what they were working on in terms of how they're going to make their customers happy. And so their initiative list was all over the place. It's like throwing spaghetti on the wall kind of thing and see what sticks. Is anything here any good? You can think of it like Disney lately in Star Wars installments. We'll make every kind of version we can and see if anyone becomes a hit. And three quarters become duds because we have no idea what people really want or really don't want to listen to what they want.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Earl and I think, are both picking up on an economic aspect to this. And Earl is on the value side, and I'm on the investment side, with two sort of directions here. One of them is that I think software, we just have to acknowledge that software, especially the way we build it today, has a limited service life. That if you're going to write code, it's going to be able to survive for some number of years, and then you're just going to have to scrap it and replace it. And you just might as well commit and plan to something like, let's just say, a 10-year or a 15-year service life of, we're going to be plowing money into this thing, keeping it running for 15 years. But we know that when we hit 15 years, the code base is just going to be so obnoxious that we're going to have to just scrap it and start again from scratch. If there is still a value proposition for the product, what we need is a new code base to support the new product, because the old one is too rickety. The foundation is rotted out from under it. Got to build us an entirely new structure. So committing to an economic service life at the beginning and then managing over the lifetime to that economic service life is very important. And I think that the intermediate, where are we now with this code base that is just an absolute rat's nest? I mean, why wasn't the option considered that, we really need to be rewriting this from scratch? Again, the sunk cost fallacy comes in. You're throwing good money after bad. If you take an economic view of software, how much are we spending, how much we're going to get back, all that kind of stuff, that I've done a number of case studies, informal, yes, but for customers that basically say that if you look at it truly economically, the cost of throwing away the code base and redeveloping it from the ground up, is in fact economically a better proposition than continuing to maintain this system. I mean, we had one particular customer, to remain nameless, that was on the order of $105 million a year maintenance budget for a 30-some-odd-year-old code base that could be redeveloped in 2 years for a $30 million investment. the net result would be that the annual maintenance cost would drop from $105 million a year to $5 million a year, worst case, basically saying that in the first 4 months this system goes live, it's essentially paid for its entire development cost. But hey, we've already put X number of $1 million into this system. Of course, we're not going to throw it away. I mean, it's the sunk
Right.
cost fallacy
Right.
all over again.
Well, there's a quote that I had come across a year or two ago from he was a forensic security guy who had analyzed software and for defects.